the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, is joining us right now here the day after, as I believe, the game of the year. He's Mike Macdonald right here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's up, Coach? How you doing?
Hey, great. Good to be with you, man.
I never asked.
I feel like a noob here on the Zoom. This is it's a first for me.
What do you mean? You don't do Zooms or what? What do you mean?
No, I do Zooms, but probably not very good at them. I don't know.
Listen,
good to talk to you.
You know what? I just for a second. Here's what we're going to do. Just turn the evaluation thing off for a second. I know that's your default. Coaches are just evaluate. You break down. Hey, man, you don't have to play a game for another week. You know what I mean?
I'm breaking down every second of this, Rich. I can't turn it off.
I never asked this of a coach, but I'll ask it. What time did you go to sleep last night?
Well, it wasn't like a steady sleep. You know, I had quite a few people at the game, so we got to hang out around the locker room after, and everybody got to see everything, which is cool. But you know, you fall asleep, you wake up, you're excited because you won. Was it real? Okay, it was real. Oh, but then I went back to sleep, and we gave up these plays, and maybe that was a bad play call, and so it's kind of like it's a hot and cold all night, but. Not the best sleep of all time, but we'll take it every time.
So you wake up, again, just like everyone else, you're a human being. I mean, just the day before washes over you, like, oh, yeah, that happened. We won that game.
Yeah, that probably happened at least a half dozen times last night. And then you also think about some of the ones you want back, too, which is inevitable.
Sure. And obviously, there's still time to work on that with 2 more games to go, and we'll get to that in a second. But I'm not ready to turn the page from last night, not by a long shot. So what do you tell your team in the locker room of a game that you're down in but not too far out? It did feel to me, again, watching the game at home, that you were down more than just by 6 based on what happened in that first half. What would you tell your team in that locker room, Mike?
Well, defensively, I think we needed a little shot of confidence that we could make a couple adjustments and be on the right track and just make sure we're all on the same page going to the second half. And I think the guys were great. You know, they knew what we needed to do. And then, you know, Jay Reed was awesome. He's been great, just sending the message to the guys, before games and at halftime, and really gets guys ready to go. And it was really that simple. But, you know, it was going to be a big drive with our offense coming in, and there was a lot of focus going into that drive to really come back and put the game within reach. After everything that happened, to be only down 6, we felt like we were in a good position, and go down and score a touchdown was huge for us.
Yeah, and I'm sure, Kenneth Walker, he had a big play for you in your first drive of each half, and that had to breathe some life into the team. And how do you handle situations of adversity yourself in front of your team when, turnovers begin to start coming in bunches? Certainly for your quarterback who has had games like this against this franchise, Coach. How do you handle it?
Well, I think part of our growth as a football team, and probably me included, is just how do we reload from like a play-to-play basis, And I think early in the year and sometimes last year, we let some of the results when they didn't go our way affect us, or even maybe if we were in a lead, that affected our play. And it's been a pretty big focus on, hey, let's just go to the next play. Let's just keep reloading. Keep attacking it. Defensively, we talk about death zone football, like coming alive when, the times are tough and some of those tough situations. And our guys they've really bought into it, and I think it's galvanizing. It's almost like when things don't go our way, sometimes we do play our best football, which has been a lot of growth. And it just makes it such a fun group to coach no matter the circumstance.
Well, I mean, again, how much do you listen, I'm a control freak just hosting this show, which means I'm probably like a tenth of the control freak that you are as a head coach in the National Football League. Do you go to your OC, Clint Kubiak, and say, are we getting the ball to 11 tonight or what? Like, do you do stuff like that, or you just delegate and you stay out of it?
Yeah, I mean, that's not really our style and how we want to do it. I mean, we have a plan going into the game offensively. We felt like, we're kind of just moving and shaking within the plan to kind of deviate. Of course, we're trying to get the ball to Jax. But, I think there's opportunities to get the ball to other guys too. K9 coming to life in the pass game, getting the ball to AJ early was really helpful for us. And then, just like I said last night, it turns out Jax is a great way to move the ball,
Yes.
And so we want to give him the ball as much as we can, but you can't force it either, So,
right.
there is a balance there, and I felt like we called a good game. We stayed attacking. We took care of the ball for the most part until some of those throws, and then obviously, credit to Jax where he just keeps playing and running the routes and blocking. I thought he blocked great last night, and then eventually the ball finds energy in those critical moments. All of a sudden he's got the ball in his hand with a chance to go win it.
Well, and let's linger on Sam for a little bit here before I start getting into the specific plays of last night's game, is because you're saying that your emphasis is about, taking it a play at a time and flushing the negatives and just keep matriculating and things of that nature. How does Sam Darnold personify that in your estimation?
Well, I think you nailed it. I think he's kind of the tip of the spear when it comes to that mentality. It's funny, you can't help but notice some of the narratives that, go around with your players, especially Sam. But my message to everybody has just been like, look, this is the guy that we know, that we've had in our building from day one, and how he's handled his business and how he practices on a daily basis is that guy. He's really the same guy every day, ultimate competitor. He's got he's got some nastiness to him, he's got some swag to him, and he's got confidence, and I think the play that resonates with our players, and the way he treats people and how he leads is constant, and so you can't help but respect his mentality, and you can't help but root for him, So I'm really happy to see the fruits of his labor come to life late in the game and come through like we knew he could.
You are aware of the narratives, though. You are, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you try to, you're not spending time figuring it out, but kind of it happens through osmosis.
What do you mean by nastiness? Give me an example.
He's got a killer instinct to him. He just take no prisoners. And in those moments, I mean, you could, even when we decided to go for two, you're kind of looking at his body language and seeing how the guys feel about it. And it's kind of it felt like he was like a closer in baseball with that mentality, like taking the mound, just, hey, give me the ball, let's go close this thing out. That's maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I was reading in the moment, and that was part of the reason we went for it.
Mike Macdonald here of the Seattle Seahawks, the head coach of the team currently, the one seed in the NFC, and controls its own so-called destiny in that regard here on the Rich Eisen Show. If I had told you when Kobe Turner picked off Sam right on the goal line, don't worry, you got the Rams right where you want them, what would you have said? Because you did, as it turned out, from there.
Well, that's a tough situation, like you have some hope and you're saying, okay, if we score here, it's an X amount of point game, and how we would handle it the next series. And all of a sudden, your kind of life changes before your eyes, and the circumstances are completely different. But, to your point in your question earlier, it's my job to put us in the best position possible given the situation. So that's where my mind goes. Okay, well, shoot, that sucks, but let's go to the only thing we can do now is try to get a stop and get the ball back and make this a one possession game. So that was the mentality. You're not exactly happy about it, but the game's a long way from over. You just hopefully everyone shared the same mentality. Let's just keep fighting and see what happens.
And then Shaheed uncorks that one for 58 yards and a punt return after your defense has the Rams go 3 and out from that interception. What were you? I'm really going to hit the Wayback Machine here to the trade deadline. John Schneider says we got a chance in him. Were you involved in that conversation? Because, boy, what a massive, massive help he has been to your team since coming from the Saints, Coach.
He has been. And, it was a cool process, trade deadline. This is only the second time that I've been through with John, and really as just kind of being a part of it as a head coach. So, but, Rashid was part of kind of in our sights for a while. We knew that he'd be a great fit for us, and really, John pushed the envelope with it. And of course, we were on board from day one. And obviously, Clint's his experience with Rashid last year. Clint really, he thought he was a great player and really liked him as a person. Felt like he was going to be a great fit with our team. So you kind of put all those things together, and shoot, I was praying that we were going to be able to pull it off. And as it came to fruition, and we're obviously. We were fired up because we felt like it could be a game changer for us, and it turned out it was. Yeah,
I mean, the 58-yard punt return leading to the least talked about 2-point conversion you had last night successfully, and then a 3 and out followed by the end around from Shaheed that led to the Barner touchdown and then the 2-pointer everybody's talking about. At what point last night did you know, oh, wait a minute, that 2-pointer that didn't work out might actually go our way? Walk me through that moment for you.
Well, we were lining up to kick the kickoff, and it was going longer than usual. So you realize that something was up, and then the officials let us know that they were looking at it. And in my mind, at that point, it's a 2-point game. We get a stop, a field goal wins the game. I mean, if we didn't get it, the game's going to play out. Like, both sides are going to play a different style of play, going through. So it did change the dynamics of the game by getting it. But once we realized that they were looking at it, and then the replays were going on the sideline, you realize that the ball was going backwards, and we had a clear recovery. Became pretty evident that we were going to end up with the 2 points. It was going to be a tie ball game. So, it was a wild sequence. I don't think it was probably an unprecedented thing that's happened before, but it is what it is. The ball was going backwards, and New York made it right, so that was cool.
Okay, so you thought, okay, we're just down 2, and then somebody tapped you on the shoulder, or an official comes up and says to you, we're looking at it?
Look, it's a little hazy. I wish I knew exactly what happened, but to my knowledge, the officials came over and told us. Yeah. And then Brian Ayers runs game management for us. He's talking in one ear, I'm talking, there's a lot going on. But once you realize what's going on, it became pretty clear that we probably end up with the 2 points. And
it's a coaching emphasis of yours to pick up any loose ball, right, Coach? Right?
Every time. Yeah, I mean, on defense, that's standard rules. And
but Charbonnet's on offense, though. He's on offense.
Let me introduce you a guy named Zach Charbonnet. This guy is an absolute stud, and he gets it. And he just, all those little details he does right all the time, that's him. And so I'm not surprised one bit that he did.
I'm a Michigan man, so I know who he is, or where he used to go before he went to UCLA, before you got your hands on him. And that was just a massive moment, obviously. And now overtime. Let's just flash forward. At what point did you think, I'm going for 2? Well,
again, to bring up Brian Ayers, this is something that he brought up a few days ago, knowing that, hey, this game, with the implications of the playoffs on the line, possible division lead, first seed, implications, might have to be a decision that we're going to have to make late in game. Do we play for the tie, or do you go for the win? So, we were marinating on that for a while, and going into that last drive, it became, okay, hey, look, it's funny how these things come to life after you bring them up, but it became just pretty clear, like, look, I think we got a pretty cool play call, and let's go for this win. Let's go for it, and let's go win this thing and go out with this thing with a bang. So that's what we did.
Right, but other than the analytics maybe and the gut feel that a head coach needs, was part of this decision thinking at any point, hey, a tie does not give us the tiebreak over the Rams in any playoff tiebreaker?
Yes. Yeah.
It does. You are thinking that at that point in time.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like if we kick you kick the PAT, you play it out. The Rams have 3 minutes to go on a sudden death, more than ample opportunity on the field. It's gonna be hard for us to get the ball back and go back down and score. So it just felt like there was a lot of downside by giving them the ball back. And then, if you feel like you can tilt the scales a little bit in your favor on the 2-point play, then now you're looking a little bit over like a 50-50 proposition. Feels like that's the best decision to make.
And do you? I'm just going to go outside the lane here a little bit in my few minutes I have left with you here, Coach. Would you want to expand overtime in regular season for an extra 5 minutes, where the 10-minute? You know what I mean? Like at this point in time, 10 minutes might not be enough. I mean, this is a massive game, and it damn near came down to a tie here. Would you want an extra 5 minutes if you could tell the competition committee that? Coach?
Well, it's funny. I'm kind of like tell me the rules and let me try to play by them better than anybody else type of guy. So I think it's good. I like the change that we made by making it like the playoff model. I like the fact that teams get both chances. I like the fact that it's almost like a toss up now on who gets the advantage based off of who wins the coin flip. I think it's more of a fair model than it has been. So you get into more play. I mean, we ended up playing 88 plays on defense. You end up with a couple of those throughout the course of a season. You really start to add up some plays as well. So that's really the first thing that goes to my mind is I kind of like the way we have it, and protects the players, I think, in the long run.
Yeah, I hear you. And then, you did win the toss. So you liked going second because you know exactly what you need. And obviously we saw what happened, right? Was that your philosophy on that?
Yeah, that's the main course. I mean, if you go the other way, it's about, okay, well, it's the flip argument, right? It's just we just prefer to have the ball and knowing what we need to do, but there's also a case to be made the other way as well, and there could be a circumstance where we decide to do that, but that's the way we kind of looked at it throughout the offseason and felt like what fits our team the best.
All right, before I let you go, simple question: now what? Now what? Now what? So we talked about reloading from play to play. That's what we need to do this weekend. And I think one of the first things we need to do is get some rest and get our coaches out of the dang office. Okay.
So
all right.
That's number one. It's a good opportunity for us to kind of zoom out a little bit schematically and with our personnel and really refocus on what we want to do going into this last couple of games and make it clear for our players, and then come back fresh next week and put a great week together so we're good and get ready for Carolina.
I was about to say, so I guess Sunday you're watching Bucks versus Carolina to scout, a team that I'm not to tell you how to do your job, but I'm sure you're going to do it anyway. All I got to say, hey, the Rams lost there. They took the Rams. The Rams helped us out. Let's not let them help the Rams out, right? I mean, that's a way to kind of get ready for Carolina while watching them play the Bucks. They need it too, just as much as you, right? I mean,
look, we respect the heck out of them. They've won some big games this year. Right. And honestly, Rich, I think part of the reason we're in the position we're in right now is we really haven't made it about who we're playing and the circumstance. Right. And hey, we got to get up for this game, but maybe we don't have to get up for that game. It's no, it's just. Our mentality here is every time we take the field we are chasing that version of the team we want to be all the time. And we've made some mistakes this year by having it make it more about our opponents. And that's something that I've learned as a head coach of really doubling down on that philosophy. And I think that's resonated with our team. And that'll be our approach this week and, as we go into the playoffs.
And then you, like the rest of the country, will watch the Niners, who's your final opponent, take on Phillip Rivers. How about that? How about if I had told you, right? If I had told you what would be crazier, that you would be going for two in the greatest comeback in the history of the Seattle Seahawks in the fourth quarter on a Thursday night football game, and Eric Saubert would catch it, right, in overtime, right? That would be it. And I don't know if you're aware, this is the first ever successful two-point conversion in the history of NFL overtime. That's never happened. You got it. That's on one side. Or you'll be watching Monday Night Football, rooting for Phillip Rivers to help your team out. What do you think? What's crazy?
That's a pretty crazy proposition. That's the NFL for you. That's why we love it so much, right? That's just what makes it so special. But
right,
we'll be big Phillip Rivers fans. I've always been a Phillip Rivers fan up until this past week, but I'm back on the Rivers wagon moving forward.
That's crazy. Phillip Rivers coming in your house, and then he's on Monday Night Football to help your team after.
That's great. He's talking back like the old days, talking crap to us after a touchdown throw. It's not a good feeling to be at, but I respect it.
He talked crap to you? He did?
You could feel he was he tried to stick a dagger at us on that touchdown pass.
Oh my gosh. That is so great. Hey, listen, I appreciate the 20 minutes you've given me. I'm sure you're still, soaking in last night, but you're already trying to turn the page and get some rest. So it's great to see you. I don't believe the last time I saw you was at the Combine. So here you are on the show. I greatly appreciate that, as you know. So thanks.
You got it, Rich.
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
thanks for the opportunity. Thanks, man.
Oh, you got right. You got it. There's Mike Macdonald, fresh off of the win of the year.
Yeah, buddy.
Game of the year. Yeah. Win of the year. I mean, I could have gone on with the play-by-play for about 10 more minutes.
It was so much fun last night.
Dude.
It was just one thing after another. Yeah.
It was one battle after another.
A 4-hour game that didn't feel like it.
And I just was sitting there the entire time after Puka runs one in. I'm like, they scored. They got to go for two here.
Yeah.
I didn't know the exact 88 defensive snaps. Last thing they're going to do is let's kick the extra point and put 88 defensive snaps on the field against Stafford and Puka. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.